What's going on, YouTube? This is Patriot Independence here with you again for another breaking news report. The lamestream media is only reporting on the Russian warships and nuclear subs will arrive in Cuba today. That's all you keep hearing. But what they're failing to report is the fact that the warships and subs are already here and have been for, from what I can see, they've been here for a couple days now, down on the eastern coast of Florida, southern coast of Florida, and some are literally 66 miles off the eastern coast of Florida. I mean, they're so close, y'all, that you could literally jump in a boat or jet ski and drive right out to the nuclear submarines. That's how close they are. But the lamestream is only reporting about how they're going to Cuba. The question you and everyone else needs to ask is why? Why are they downplaying it? Why are they ignoring the fact of the Russian fleet being that close to the eastern shore of Florida? It's a good question everyone needs to ask. I mean, that one nuclear sub has enough firepower to cripple the entire East Coast. The only thing that the lamestream media is talking about are the quote-unquote drills that Russia is going to do with Cuba and Venezuela. That's all they're talking about. And yeah, that is concerning, because Russia is cozying up to countries that, you know, they're cozying up to countries that are right here at America, and one's not so close, like China, North Korea, and Iran, etc. But the powers that be don't want the citizens to know just how bad it's getting. They don't want you to know just how much danger we all really are in, and the potential that this has to be very, very bad. And things have never been this bad in regards to this. I mean, it's not in my lifetime anyway. You have these Russian fleets off the coast of Florida, and the U.S. Navy and then the Coast Guard following them around, and all it takes is for one mistake, one misfire, to push this conflict over the edge. And as I stated before, this would make World War I and World War II look like a cakewalk in comparison. And the lamestream is failing to tell you that Russia is holding simulated strike drills in the Atlantic along the East Coast. I bet you that they didn't tell you about that. I bet you they didn't report too that a former KGB officer in a news report stated just how much danger America truly, really is. You know, and it's not good. And everybody's just so silent to it. They're not, nobody's doing anything about it. It's nuts, man. In my opinion, I believe that Russia is practicing what they would do if things continue to get worse. But the lamestream isn't telling you about that. So before I move on, I'm going to roll a news clip regarding the KGB officer, and we'll be right back with more thoughts.
All right, over now to someone who has a very unique insight into the Russian mindset, maybe even the mindset of Vladimir Putin. Jack Barsky was recruited by the KGB and put into the U.S., where he spent 10 years spying for the then Soviet Union. He later left the KGB after decades of living in the U.S. under an assumed identity. He was discovered by the FBI. He is the author of the book Deep Undercover, and tells his story of the speaking circuit. Jack Barsky joins us here live. Jack, it is always great to see you and speak with you. I wonder after listening to the Pentagon there and after seeing what we saw in Cuba today, what do you think Vladimir Putin is doing here? And do you think this is serious?
Well, far be it from me to criticize somebody who should know more than I do in terms of what's going on, right? I don't have any information. So what you get from me is an educated guess that's based on what I know about Putin and what I know about Russia per se. And because it's not a surprise that when I tell you that I'm an amateur historian, particularly about Russia, Russia, Ukraine, and Putin. Okay, so Vladimir Putin, I think, is again up to his own tricks. He likes to scare people. He likes to scare the holy, what, out of people. And in light of the fact that he has dropped some hints about using tactical nukes, and then taking it back, and then having one member of his administration make even stronger statements like that, you got to be worried about this kind of stuff. This is not. You can't look at this as just a routine exercise. It has to be seen in against the background where where Putin is stating that he's actually fighting the West in Ukraine and not just Ukraine.
Do you think he's trying to send a message to President Biden? Do you think he's trying to send a message to the United States? If so, what?
Yes, everything that Putin does is sending messages, and particularly threatening messages. And if I may, what I'm concerned about here, there's a parallel. In 1962, you remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? Mm-hmm. There was a submarine outside of the Cuban shore, and that had a nuclear-tipped missile, and that came awfully close to being launched. Okay, and that's a historically proven, and only because of the rule was all three crew members had to agree for that launch to happen, and the second in command, Vasily Arkhipov, said no, and American officials have gone on record to state that this was very, very close, and with this kind of tension that we have all over the world right now, there's always a possibility of an accidental launch.
All right, so there you guys have it. I mean, America is in danger, and Putin has already stated that he will, if he has to, use tactical nukes. And to be honest, what makes people, and you guys or anybody watching this video, what makes you think that Russia won't use them on America? They've already got the submarines and the warships parked right along the East Coast. I mean, it's nuts. And it seems like the powers that be, when they want to drum up support for Ukraine, they start with Russia's the big bad boogeyman, and Russia this and Russia that. But when Russia is literally 66 miles off the East Coast, the lamestream says, "Oh, there's nothing to see here, folks. This is all normal. This is all normal stuff. It's no big deal." So which is it? Because if it's no big deal and Russia's not a threat, then we don't need to send Ukraine any more money or weapons. That's my opinion. I mean, and then to make matters even worse, as a result of Poopy Joe's failed open border policies, 8 people were just arrested with connections to ISIS. We'll read in the news report here. It says 8 Tajikistan nationals with ties to ISIS were busted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in conjunction with Federal Bureau of Investigation Joint Terrorism Task Force in 3 major cities. A federal source confirmed it to Fox News. The arrest took place in New York City, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia in the recent days, according to the source. All 8 Tajikistan nationals crossed the U.S. southern border illegally, and according to a federal source, with the sting, no derogatory information was initially flagged with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Jesus, man. Or with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security during processing. The suspected terrorists were quote unquote fully vetted and nothing was flagged, according to a federal source. Fox News source also said after the suspect terrorists were released into the U.S., derogatory information was flagged with national security concerns, including the individual's ties to ISIS. So that's just 8 of them. That's just who they caught. It's, you know as well as I do, they've had over millions of people come through that southern border. And I'm going to estimate of every bit of at least 100,000, maybe more, are terrorists. Okay? So you got Russia off every coast. You got Russia off the eastern coast, you got them on the western coast, and you got them on the southern, where the Gulf of Mexico is, down by Cuba. You don't know how many of them come through the southern border. I'm telling you guys, I think something big is getting ready to start popping off, and everybody needs to be ready for it. So that way it doesn't hit you like a ton of bricks when it happens. All right, so I'm going to close this video out with a verse from the Bible. We're going to do Psalm 102:19. The Lord looked down from his sanctuary on high. From heaven he viewed the earth. So with all that being said, if you find this information and this video helpful, subscribe, like the video, so the algorithm will get it out there. Share the video with your friends and family, because getting that information out there to everybody is important. And comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. What's your opinions? So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Stay safe. God bless. Patriot Independence out.